Hello, welcome back. If you want to ask me questions and stuff on this site, I put this up for you. Notify me or email me on rsbcopstories@gmail.com, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. The next story involves a quirky thing. You get, command staff on your department, new people come in, and a lot of people are new in the sense that they think they want to reinvent the wheel, or they think they want to try something new. And at this time, I had been on the job about, oh my goodness, 29 years, maybe 30 years. I was top step. I had a 10-person squad working for me. We were following people for various reasons. And, I was pretty good at this. 20 years of following people, part of my 35-year career. So I had people with me that are very good. I hand selected them all. I had one lady and 8 men. Fantastic. And we were all American team. I had a black, I had 3 Latinos, I had 2 whites. I mean, it was all, I had a Puerto Rican. We were all American team here. Okay, I was kind of proud of it. But that's secondary. I was proud these were qualified, good people, all of them. So we're following some people, and then we get a call from a new chief that was appointed, outsider from another department. And, well, back up a little bit. Another team followed a car, and some teams follow people differently than other teams. Very difficult to follow someone and not being seen. You watch television, there's, all these stupid shows, and they have the police officer in a 4-door Plymouth sitting across the street, and the guy comes out of the house, and he looks around, gets his car, and goes. That's not how it works. Okay, those 2 guys sitting there in suits, they're going to be identified in 5 seconds. Okay, the feds should do, the federal FBI should do that, and they stopped doing it because it's not going to work. We would always hide and get in people's driveways, and we'd duck down. Because it's very difficult to follow someone if they're looking to be followed, and we did a pretty good job of that. So this team, it was a federal team, a task force of feds and state people, were following this car had Colorado plates on it, and they let the car turn up a residential street, and they didn't follow it down the street for whatever reason. I have no idea. I think they thought they could pick it up on the other side. Well, you can think that's going to work, but it doesn't. Believe me, car makes a turn. First car goes by, second car comes up and slowly makes a turn to get far enough behind him, and then he follows them. And then other people on the other end are waiting in cars, and then when that car makes a turn, the car that's on him makes an opposite turn. That's how you do it. You never put the same car on the same block. Well, they made him turn, let him turn, they went by, and they probably figured I'll pick him up on the other end. Well, you don't do that. Once you lose eyesight of him, he could be anywhere. And so he disappeared. In that block of about, I worked that street for a while, maybe 20 homes, 15 homes on each side. That's a long block. Nice area too. At one of those homes, he disappeared because he never popped out the other side. Where is he? Where is he? And then now they go down the street, and these houses are older homes built in the 40s and 50s, so they have long driveways to the back. Really nice homes. Very nice part of town, West Los Angeles out there. So anyway, so the next morning we get the call to go and see if we can find this car. Okay, so I briefed my guys, and we set up guys on each end of this block to just look for a car coming out with Colorado plates. Okay, so I'm thinking, man, this is a long shot, but for some reason they wanted to identify this person and see where he lived. So we're there half a day, 3/4 of the day, and I get a call on the radio from my lieutenant. He wants to meet him at a parking lot. So I go in there, and here's this new chief sitting with my supervisor. And so I get out, and we introduce each other and shake our hand. He was a cigar smoker, so I was a cigar smoker, so one of these, kind of like the old West where you meet the Indians and you pass a smoking pipe or whatever, I say, oh, you smoke cigars? Well, here, I have one on me. Oh, have mine. So we're exchanging cigars. Well, we immediately bonded. He was a really nice guy. So we bonded. He was a civilian, and they made him assistant chief because the chief wanted him in this department. He was an expert in terrorism. Okay, makes sense after 9/11. So anyway, so we're bonding. We're lighting up a cigar one. And I'm telling him what our problems with finding this car, because he was asked by the feds if we could try to find it. And I said, yeah, we're going to try. When he asked me what I'm going to do, our plan was, so we're going to, about every 2 hours, we're going to have a guy drive down the street and see if he can see any cars in the driveways, and then just keep on going. And we're capping the ends, so to speak, car at each end, and that's all we can really do. I can't do anything more than that. And you can see the public's never done police work before. You can see that you can almost hear the clicking going on up here. And he goes, well, let's do this. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, because, I don't trust anybody higher than my own rank because they have weird ideas, okay, fine. So anyway, I'm not being pompous, I'm just a fact. Any officer tell you, you're sergeant, detective, or policeman, and you start hearing stories from captains, lieutenants, and commanders, they're kind of wacky, okay, because they've never done it, or they did it for such a short time when they were policemen, then they went off and promoted, now they're around, putting their guns away in drawers when they go to work and not doing anything at all, any law enforcement. But anyway, so he goes, well, let's do this. We'll get some of your officers. I'm thinking, what is he talking about? And we're going to go down the street and we're going to tell every house that there's a gas leak on the block and need to evacuate. And I'm looking at him, I thought he was kidding. You know, we're smoking cigars. I thought he was joking around. I thought it might have been, you know, the smoke inhalation caused problems, or the, you know, or the nicotine or something. So I go, what? He goes, yeah. And the lieutenant looks at him, looks at me. He's one of those camera one, camera two, like, he goes, yeah, that way we'll evacuate everybody. And, you know, then the cars will come out. They want to get there in their cars, and you'll be able to flag the car coming out. We just stood there like I did right now. It's like, what do you think? And he looks at me, because, you know, those guys at least have the knowledge that they're looking at the guys actually going to have to do it. They don't look at the lieutenant, they're looking at me. I go, well, sir, you know, I said, here's the problem. I told him a glassed over problem. There's a major problem, but I told him like this. I said, look, there's a little problem here. I said, if we start doing that, we'll probably get to the 5th or 8th house, 9th house, which is going to be fine, and then someone's going to make a phone call, okay, that the police department is evacuating people on this block for a gas leak, okay? Now that's not a good thing. The call goes out to somebody, and what's happened is someone's going to pick up that call, and the gas company is going to say, well, that's news to us, okay? And then the media is going to get a hold of it, and this whole block's going to be filled with cars and trucks and antenna vehicles and vans and Sunday evening news and, you know, all this stuff. We can't keep it a secret for very long. We might get away with going down the street the first run, but then it's going to come out. People are going to start making phone calls to their family. They're going to start calling their councilman. They're going to start calling the police department. I said, that's kind of you really shouldn't do that. He goes, well, yeah, but initially we might get away with it. He was really thinking about doing it. And I go, well, yeah, like I said, maybe the first 20 minutes before people start making their phone calls, and then we should be okay after that till people start responding, because they're going to call the police department. Unless we notify the police department we're doing this, then they're going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. We'll send some police cars. And now we're going to have police cars showing up. And then, you know, it's not good. And he goes, wow. He goes, man. I mean, you can see he's like, and finally, lieutenant, well, not the best lieutenant I had working for me, but he finally decides to grow some guts. And he goes, yeah, we probably shouldn't do it. Gee, thank you, Lieutenant. I don't have these here, okay? I just have stripes. And what do I know? Finally, because I was like, I was in a position that if he told me to do it, that I already made up my mind that I was going to tell him that I'm not going to do it. And you're going to have to call my captain, because this is unreasonable, very unreasonable. And it's just, you know, but I wasn't at that point, because he's finally stepped in, and I think he figured he was going up the wrong way here. So he just said, okay, well, I just thought, you know, I'm just doing some thoughts here, you know, I'm just, you know, what do you, fireball, what that term, you fireball or throw out stuff, and yeah, and and so I go, oh, okay, well, you know, it's good to keep your mind open, stuff like that. He goes, yeah, okay, well, I'll leave you guys to your work, and he always says, well, nice, thanks for the cigar, and off he went, and I could say, he was serious, wasn't he? He goes, yeah. And he asked me, what would you have done if he had said, go do it? I said, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to do an unreasonable, maybe even not illegal, but definitely unethical response to this, okay? I'll check with my boss, which is your boss too, to see if we're going to do this. He goes, oh, yeah, I was already going to do that. Well, now he's already taking charge after the threat is gone. I don't like that. That's leading from behind. He should have been the first one to say it, but we stood there and it was silence, and I'm waiting for him to say something. He didn't do it, so I'm going to say something. Okay, I got 28, 29 years invested in this department. I'm not going to blow it on making phony gas leak calls on a neighborhood. That's ridiculous. So anyway, so that was interesting. So I laughed about that. Then I got a new lieutenant in about 6 months later, good guy, ex-Vietnam vet like I was, and we got along. I told him that story. He just shook his head like, what? He could not believe that the other lieutenant didn't step in. Everybody works differently. Everybody works administratively. Everybody are street cops. So that was an interesting story, and yeah, well, I never trusted the chiefs of that level anyway. So, hey, well, we enjoyed that. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.